Hello, Teresa Phelps Martin, bringing you the energetic signature for that beginning of summer. Yes, when the sun moves into the sign of Cancer, we have the first day of summer in the Northern Hemisphere, which I'm about 98% sure everybody who's watching is viewing in relationship to the Northern Hemisphere. If not, realize the sun is crossing over the Tropic of Cancer, and it could mean that it's the longest day of the year for you, and so the days will start to shorten. Or for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, it's the shortest day of the year, so the days start to get longer. I love the paradox. I love the way our universe is so created with so much deep cosmic alignment that we operate from, whether we know it or not. So this is a offering. Take what serves you, leave the rest behind. It's from my heart to yours, and it is here to hopefully support you as you navigate your life and you make that connection to your innermost self and feel support, feel informed and prepared. Because, that's what I love. I've taught yoga for so long. Yoga prepares us for what's coming, right? We always hear, let it go, let it be, it's beautiful. Let it go, let God, or whatever the saying is. But when we know the signature of the cosmos, we can feel so deeply guided. And that is so much of the signature for this month is how are you committing to your intuitive self? How are you trusting more in your own innate wisdom? How are you realizing that you can actually tend to the community because you're tending to yourself? How can you really bring into that place to reflect the light, feel it, receive it, taste it, drink it, nourish yourself in it, and offer it back out? All right. So obviously this is for your emotional well-being, your soul, your deep innermost self that you can cultivate a relationship with, because it's what matters. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done and we have wrinkles, if we make it that far, I've already had so much have to change in my body. My hair is naturally this color with a little support, right? And now I have to wear glasses. So all the things, all the layers, care for yourself, care for yourself. Summer solstice is one of my favorite times of the year. And the signature is very watery. So again, there's an energy that's reminding us to go back and review the ways that we've really felt this kind of splash of deep healing and the work. Now, if you're not doing the work, you're not doing the healing. It's not a magic wand. It doesn't just miraculously, Saturn's in Pisces and gone retrograde. Oh, okay. No. You have to do the work to see the change. Like, as somebody was sharing with me, it's like you're working on the plumbing of your being, right? You don't want to go septic. You want to make sure that plumbing is cared for. And if you've ever gone septic or know somebody or lost somebody who has, I honor that and I respect it. And in that, let it be a motivation that you don't want to get really sick. You want to do the things to really care for your soul. So that's a very strong signature. Anytime the sun is in the sign with the backdrop of that Cancerian energy, that Cancerian archetype, you want to connect to your inner mother. Not like, we were all born from a mother, right? But really connect to that mother-like archetype within yourself. So if you haven't done any work around that, I recommend committing to it. This season, we have a lot of that sensitivity, our relationship to our intuition. How are we honing in? What practices do we need to let go of? We're in this energy of a trine, a grand water trine. It's a loose trine, but it is there for those of you who really pay attention to every degree. But we have the South Node in Scorpio. We have Saturn so the South Node in early degrees of Scorpio, Saturn in early degrees of Pisces, and then the Sun in early degrees of Cancer. So with that being said, we have this ease of how are we really working with the emotional landscape and tending to it so we can let go. We can let go of the chaos. We can let go of the trauma. We can let go of the pain associated with moments where we were vulnerable and intimate and something happened, right? How can we really release and then integrate into our potential? And the Sun will trine Neptune once it makes it to the end of this Cancerian journey. However, Neptune goes retrograde this month. So it's really going to be this trine with this water energy that's asking us to reflect, right? To respect, to recognize, to reimagine, to re-envision, to realize, to return, to relate, to release, to recenter, to all the re's, right? And to respect and to resume. So that's a strong signature this month. We have this shift. Good news is we're not in the like, oh my gosh, 7 planets retrograde at the same time summer. But Venus will go retrograde at the end of the month, and she's retrograding in Leo. So that's sort of like wanting to shine your best light, wanting to value that way that you can just shine energy into exactly who you're meant to be. We're going to be reviewing all of that once we get to the end of Cancer season. We have Mars towards the end of this Cancerian season will enter Virgo. So Mars is very assertive right now. Drive, direction, encouragement, this chance to, it could also be aggressive. So watch that patterning, watch what's coming out of you. Are you being intimidating? Are you in the drama, or can you just enjoy, right? Can you just enjoy? We'll have the full moon in Capricorn and the new moon in Cancer. So a reminder that we're in this flip where the full moon precedes, right? The full moon precedes the new moon in the lunation. So you could be really specific and say, okay, well, Teresa, you did the Gemini new moon offering, which happens. It's happening tonight of when I record this. So I'm speaking from this very mindful, grounded, centered, reclaiming my own strength, my own being, my own vitality, my own offering, and integrating that. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. There's a lot of energy of how to work with the past 3 years, because that's the energy the Sun is carrying as it moves into this Cancer season. But that means if you follow the lunation, well, we have a new moon in Gemini and then a full moon in Capricorn. That doesn't make sense, right? But it's because the lunation is flipped. So we ignite with the full moon in Capricorn, where the path will be shown to us. You could actually look at where you were 18 months ago and you'll have an understanding of what's being illuminated. I know firsthand what that is for me. It is graduating with a master's in science as a professional mental health clinician, a counselor. I will continue to be a professional coach. I will also continue to consult the cosmos, and I will continue to seek that person who can support me as I strengthen my muscles as a clinician and integrate my ability to be intuitive. So please stay tuned, because I will be announcing kind of an irresistible offer of working together, and we co-create so that you can really feel your own soul's light illuminated, so you can connect into your own guidance and energetic support system to work with and trust and shape your life and really feel a greater sense of support as you navigate. Okay, so those are the big energies. Mercury will start in Gemini when we begin the journey through the Cancerian season, and then it ends in Leo, at the end of Leo, almost about to go to Virgo. So the yawn is divinely timed. We want to slow down. Mercury's going to be moving fast, so we're going to feel a lot of emotions, but we always do in the summertime, right? There's a warmth, there's a need, there's a desire to connect, right? Whether it's with nature or other people, but there's a real strong tide of slowing down, right? Where you want to marinate in the practices and really drink from them, taste them, and allow for the transformation, but realize the transformation is subtle. It's not this big pow. Pluto is retrograde all the way back into Capricorn and will be there the whole time the sun travels through the sky to ignite the summer season. Uranus is in Taurus, so we're still breaking up, like getting out of our comfort zone, shaking things up a little bit, doing things differently, recognizing we have more gifts or more talents, or maybe I feel like I've been divinely guided into this path that has put me where I am right now, that this is where I'm supposed to be. I will integrate my gifts as a yoga teacher into my role as a clinician, and any of you who know that have worked with me as a coach know that I bring it forward. Not so much in the way of here, do 3 downward dogs a day. I do not operate that way. But that way of how are you using your practice, your physical practice, to cultivate more presence, because that's really what yoga is about. That is really what the start of this summer is about. How are you cultivating more presence with a relationship with yourself? Can you be more compassionate? Can you bring in a relationship of self-love, of self-leadership? And can you be in that way of self-care and deep, deep, deep care of the body, of the physical, of the mental, of the spiritual, of the emotional, the mind, body, spirit, and soul. So because it's Cancer season, that means the sun answers to the moon. So it's a really important time to track the energy of the moon. So the moon will be in Cancer when the moon will be in Leo. Sorry, the moon will have just moved through Cancer. When the sun, let me just say that differently. The moon will be in Leo once the sun enters in. And so that means we start with this ability. Can you receive that love? Can you find the joy? Can you celebrate? Can you connect with others and encourage them to lead and shine and enjoy, right? And then the moon will move into Virgo, right? And then the moon will move into Libra and then into Scorpio. And every time the moon's in these places, the sun is going to respond. So we'll feel a lot of the emotions. That's why I get excited when it's Cancer season, not just because my moon is in Cancer, but because we really want to find that ability. Yes, my hip. This is why I don't teach yoga anymore. My hip doesn't let me sit like a yoga teacher anymore. When that moon, every time that moon is in a sign of the zodiac, the sun is going to feel into that energy. And when the sun feels into that energy, we want to listen, right? That's a big part of the signature. We want to listen. We want to slow down. Tune in to the Soulful You Facebook group, because it'll tell you where the moon is every day. It'll give you something to contemplate and chew on and understand that that's part of the energy. It's a time that when we pay attention to this lunation, that when we get to the moon being in Capricorn, we'll feel like a little reprieve from feeling into so much. Traditionally we're taught that the moon is in its detriment, right? When it's in Capricorn. There's no such thing as a bad moon. It's very distant. Sometimes it can forget and close itself off so much that it forgets to nourish itself. But girls and guys, friends and foes that are tuned in, I have a Cancer moon and I've had to learn the hard way that it's like my life does depend on me taking care of myself. It's not as if, it does. And that was a mandated thing. It wasn't like, oh, I'm motivated to say that. I was motivated for a long time. It was my mantra that I have to make myself a priority as if my life depended on it. And that has shifted to make my life a priority because my life does depend on it, right? So there's a big encouragement for you to do the same, not just because I am, but because it's for your vitality, it's for your health. So this is a great time, and the signature is very strong in the waters because, like I said, we have Pluto in Capricorn, we have Uranus in Taurus, earth signs, feminine energies, receptive, slowing down. Wisdom, wisdom is when you take the knowledge and the experience and you put them together, then you have wisdom, right? It's that lived knowledge, that experiential knowledge that comes forward. It's not just the research, it's your guidance, it's your connection, it's your own story. But sometimes our stories need help being narrated so we can say it differently. And Mercury moving so quickly through Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and then into Virgo is a good time to look at the words that you're using. How are you articulating? What is your self-talk, right? How are you connecting inward? And are the words that you speak outwardly the same as you speak inwardly? I have to work on it all the time. Yes, I do, because I'm human, just like each of you and all of you. It's a great time to be mindfully creative, right? So if we have Pluto in Capricorn, Neptune will go retrograde. So Pluto's retrograde, Neptune's going to go retrograde during this month, this energetic month. Uranus will not go retrograde yet. It won't happen till later. And, but it's in an earth sign, so feminine energy. Then we have Saturn retrograde in a water sign, more feminine energy. We have Jupiter staying in Taurus, so we have this earth, water, earth, water, earth, water, right? We have a lot of this earth, water signature, which is strong through the month. And then we have the sun in a water sign. We have Mercury spending a lot of time in water, but then fire. And then we have Venus and Mars and fire. So we get this this ignite, this drive, this need. So we don't drown in the waters, right? There's a warmth, there's a love being reflected back to us. So we really want to feel safe in, right? Believe it or not, a lot of us don't know what safety is. We're so used to chaos. We've experienced so much trauma that we don't know how not to have that craziness and chaos in our life. Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, and it's gonna move back into this trine with the South Node. It's in this separating trine right now, and then the sun is entering into this trine. So we have this grand water trine, really making it easy for us to go back and look at how are we tending to our intuition? How are we connecting to our beautiful energetic guidance system that is the unseen world? How are we letting go of the chaos and the fear of being vulnerable? Or if you are overly addicted, right? You don't have the filter or the boundary. That is a chance to build that filter. It is a chance to have and cultivate the boundaries. Excuse me. I am tired. Just so you know, it's been a long 6 months, and I had about 29-year-old boys at my house yesterday to celebrate my Gemini son. My Gemini son. My boy, sun sign is Gemini, but my other boy, my big boy, he's not mine, but he's also Gemini. So big energies right now for my family. So in this signature of this really, really watery signature, We're in an initiatory time. So it's this place to be in connection to how are you honoring your wounds? How are you respecting them? How are you recognizing that we're all a little banged up, right? We all have bruises. Now, some of us, I've gotten the like get out of jail free card and inherited strength, and we didn't inherit as much collective pain, right? So because the energetic signature is so strong that way, you want to believe in yourself. And that's what is great, that we have this fire energy. Venus is in Leo, she'll go retrograde, so she'll keep that fire strong and ask us to go again and realize and recognize and relate and return and remember and reclaim and release and recenter and re-envision, reimagine, and again, return, recharge, recommit. All that is there for us. So thank you for that fire. But we have a lot of feminine energy, like no air energy. So you want to breathe. You want to catch if the emotions make you feel a little suffocated. If you've ever been through any great transformation, you really want to be in dialogue with that energetic support system to transmute, to rearrange and reorganize for the highest good, right? I'm sorry, I just realized that as I went no air energy. So as you're slowed down, don't look at it in the way that it feels like the universe is against you. Look at it as like you have air energy in your own natal chart. I have a lot of it. My rising sign, my Pluto, my sun, my Venus. I have a lot of air energy. My own personal energetic signature is like that compassionate leader, or as somebody so kindly labeled me the other day, that gentle leader. That's me. But I put words to it. I put action to it. I can see both sides. That's why I like the paradox of energy. So you want to believe in yourself by actually acknowledging there might be things holding you back, and it could very well be you. You could be the one that's the biggest block to your ability to move forward. So you just make a commitment and do the work. It's a chance to show up for opportunities where you can illuminate your potential in your life, where you can really let that integration of your gifts and your talents come together in a way so you just shine. The path of how you can navigate these moments of life can be illuminated. That's what will happen a little bit, I believe, with this Cancer full moon. At least I know it will personally for me. So you want to tap into what are you investing in and committing to care for yourself. And so stay tuned, because I'm going to give you kind of an irresistible offer to invest in working with me, compensate me, so we can work together and co-create and really work with your innate energies, your intuition, your ability to step forward and be so fully you, to be yourself, your authentic, genuine self, and gather a lot of tools in your toolkit in a way to dance with the fluctuations of life. It's this chance to be just as you are meant to be. You've been carving out direction, so it's a chance to integrate it, your gifts, your potential, and slow is definitely the pulse of the solstice. I had to read my notes, otherwise I was going to go into a tangent, right? Slow is definitely the pulse of this energy. So with Saturn being retrograde, Neptune going retrograde on June 30th. Mercury will be in Cancer until July 11th. And so there's going to be a lot of water energy. We'll have the sun, we will have Mercury, Saturn, Neptune. Have I emphasized this enough to you? The strength of the energetic signature. And even Mars will move into Virgo on July 10th. So at the end, so even will like be more service oriented. So how is your energetic system supporting you? How are you committing to working with it? How are you allowing yourself to have strong boundaries, right? A little hint, your boundaries can come from knowing what really matters to you. And when you know what matters to you, when you know your values, you can have inspired commitment, inspired action, inspiration to step forward in profound and powerful ways. So that is it. I will share with you again that I appreciate you. A lot of you have watched this journey of my own. A number of you have worked with me and have confided in me that it's really made a profound and powerful change in your life. And it's not because of me, it's because of you. You chose, you dove in, and you showed up. And so that's what the solstice is about, is celebrate, honor, acknowledge what you're giving yourself, acknowledge how you're showing up, how you're listening to that inner call and working with it in a way that helps your own soul shift, other people's soul shifts. And I mean, honestly, we make the world a better place, right? So I will return. I will be sharing great news of ways you can work with me. It will still be an investment because you are worth it. And energy is sacred. And so that compensation is really important. And you deserve it because it'll help you learn how to dance with your emotions and be human, but feel like you belong in your own skin and bones. So have a beautiful day, evening, however you're watching this. I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate you for co-creating and realizing that you're not alone. So may you be real with yourself, be true to yourself, and be just so much of yourself that you are soulfully you.